Hey, so my friends are encouraging me to do more long form content. So this is me trying to do more long form content. Guess I go by Miko, and it's my first time talking in front of the camera and stuff like that. Well, it's not, yeah, I usually just do like short form videos all the time, but this is like I guess a long form video that I'm doing, like where I'm actually talking and stuff, which I always like to talk. So but yeah, like but anyway, like I think I want to just talk about like the spiritual side of things, because I guess yeah, like the spiritual side of things is really important to me still. Just about like anything, you know. So I am Catholic, but I'm, you know, and I've always been a Christian. So but yeah, I guess the thing that I want to speak about is you know, I just have a theory, or like an inkling, or like a feeling that, like, you know, there's some missing books in the Bible or something, like missing chapters or something in the Bible, because I just noticed like there's no book on Mary, or you know, there's not really a lot of information on Mary, like Saint Mary, Mother Mary, Jesus' mother, you know. So there's definitely a lot of focus on the Christ and the coming of the Christ, and the Christ is prophesied. So it's in the Old Testament and also in the New Testament, where, you know, the Christ, the prophecy is fulfilled and the Christ comes and you know, rises again and then ascends up, you know. So there's that, but there's not a lot of information on Mary, and I wonder like why that is, you know. And I wonder if that correlates to, you know, all women in general. Like, is there something that we don't know, or that we're not supposed to know, or that we're not privy to, like what exactly, you know, is that missing piece of the puzzle? And that's where I just have this theory, you know, because you see Mary throughout the Bible in like Matthew, Luke, John, and Mark, right? So like you see the story of Jesus, right? But just one interesting thing is that Mary, like the mother, is always there. So there's the devotion of the mother, the devotion of the woman, you know, to the Christ, you know, devotion to her son, where she actually follows him throughout. She follows him throughout his ministry. She supports his ministry. She's there every step of the way. She's a witness, you know. She's also a witness to everything that's happening, like just like the 12 disciples, you know. Mary's also a witness to everything that's going on. So I just find it very interesting that there's not really more information on her, so to speak, like, and part of me like wants to know more information about her. But you have 4 different accounts of Jesus, you know, and but his mother, like Mary, is always kind of mentioned, and some have more detail than other books, you know, in the Bible. So yeah, but I just wish I could understand more about why she was chosen. You know, what was it about her, why she was chosen? Was it just the lineage, the you know, because it does go person by person, you know, down the lineage as to why she was chosen. So it's very interesting, but I wanted to know, like, why the Spirit chose her, or why did God choose her to be the vessel of the Christ? You know, why? And then when she meets with Elizabeth, like Elizabeth's baby, like Elizabeth, when she's with child, with John the Baptist, right, which is Jesus's cousin. So the when Mary goes to visit Elizabeth's baby leaps in his womb, because he recognizes that the Christ is within the presence of, they're within each other's presence. So Elizabeth says, like, "Hail Mary, full of grace, blessed art thou among women, the Lord is with thee." You know, then that's where the Hail Mary comes from, because it's actually in the Bible. So yeah, so it's just very interesting, very interesting to see the devotion of the mother, and how she's always there for the Christ and stuff. And I just sort of start to wonder, like, does Mary speak to or correlate to who women really are in this society, or the importance of women in this society? The importance that we do bring forth life onto the planet, and we bring forth men and women onto the planet. So, like, part of me feels like, you know, there's some information that's, like, not available to the public or something, or not, I'm not really sure, but, like, these are the thoughts that I sort of think about. And yeah, but yeah, these are my thoughts on, you know, the Christ. But definitely the Christ is, well, Jesus Christ is just like a huge concept of the Bible, and you always see it being repeated in different ways, you know, even throughout the Bible. In the Old Testament, like, there's different representations of Christ, or different scenarios that are all like the Christ, or can be likened onto the Christ. And when Jesus actually came, you know, the prophecy was fulfilled, right? So yeah, but one thing that is very interesting about Jesus throughout his life, throughout his walk on earth, like, where he was reincarnated to life, like, as God on earth, like, the deity came down to speak to us, or to be with us. So, like, God came down in the flesh, and then there's, like, John, the book of John, where it says, "And the Word became flesh." So the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, you know. So he was here, or he is here within us, right? But you notice how Jesus always acknowledges women throughout the Bible. He's always extending, like, grace, where other you see the other people in the Bible didn't necessarily extend a level of grace towards women. There was always, like, a, you know, like, people look down on women and all that stuff. But Jesus also always seems to extend a level of grace towards women, like, especially his mother, you know, like, when his mother asked him to turn the water into wine, he did not deny her. Even though it was before his time, he still did not deny Mary to turn the water into wine. And then, so he performed the miracle at the wedding, which I think that was the first wedding, the first miracle that Jesus performed was at the wedding of Cana. So there was that. And then the next thing right? The next thing that was super interesting was the woman at the well, right? Like you just start to see how he actually speaks to the woman. He actually humanizes the woman. He actually acknowledges her as a person, not just as like property or second class citizens, things like that. So the woman at the well came, and she was drawing the water, and everybody in the society pretty much like looked down on her and stuff, went and talked to her. And I'm pretty sure she was a Samaritan, so Jews wouldn't even speak to Samaritans at all. So but yeah, so the thing that was interesting is that he spoke to her, he acknowledged her, and he told her everything about herself, like all that she's ever done and everything that she was. And then she ran like proclaiming the Christ and that she believes in him. But yeah, you see his extension of grace towards women, and how he always acknowledges them, and he always like talks to them, and he humanizes them. He treats them like normal people, whereas everyone like didn't. The woman who anointed his feet with oil and frankincense and myrrh, he acknowledged her gift. The woman who put everything that she had in the collection plate, like he acknowledged that that was everything that she has, and she lives by all her faith. The woman who grabbed his garment to be healed, he talks about faith like that. The girl, he resurrected her from her sleep, her slumber, and then just so many instances over and over and over and over. When he came back to life after he was resurrected, the first person that he went to, the first person that he revealed himself to, was Mary, the mother. So it's just very interesting. These are things that I personally think about. And yeah, I guess like on other platforms, you're not necessarily talking about, the spiritual side of things, or like the spiritual side of certain things. Like, I'm not necessarily talking about that for various reasons. But like, I guess on YouTube, more longer form content is acceptable, and also like talking for a long amount of time, talking about different concepts, is more acceptable. So yeah, this is, I guess, my first very long form video. And I wonder if I'll do more talking about these different concepts, and things like that.